Here in Kent, work has started on a development of 37 new homes. It belongs to Millwood Designer Homes, a local firm that specialises in bespoke executive houses.
We have a mixture of homes here. Prices are going to run from around 300-ish thousand up to about 1.2, 1.5 million. So we're covering a big spectrum in those price ranges.
This spot looks pretty rural, but it once housed a large centre for agricultural research.
This is a previously developed site of land, and what that basically means is it was covered in buildings because the buildings were redundant, no longer used, not for 20-odd years, by the research centre. And not only covered in buildings, but covered in masses of concrete, hard standing.
Brownfield sites like these are notorious for throwing up unwelcome surprises.
On site today now, we found that we have more concrete to remove. Underneath the concrete hard standings that we thought we were breaking up, we found more and more layers. So we're ending up with something like 3 times more demolition material than we thought we were ever going to have at the beginning.
It's not just the concrete that's causing a headache. There's more trouble lurking below the surface.
We've had some mercury on this site. We had been told there was mercury, but it turned out there was a great deal more mercury than we thought. It had percolated into some of the ground areas, so that was a major contamination issue.
After clearing up all the pollution, the next task is recycling the tons of concrete they've uncovered. And that means hiring in a 10-ton piece of equipment, the crusher. The challenges of building on sites like these all add to the house builder's time and costs.
What I can tell you today is that the overall cost of the development is something in excess of 14 million. The land element was probably something over 3 million. But as you can see here, the problems are many, many-fold. So it would be much easier to move on to a nice flat piece of land, set out our foundations and dig. Here we've got probably 4 months, 5 months work before we can even think about building houses.
For the house builders, finding land may be difficult and divisive, but they also have to grapple with an issue that's an even hotter potato: making a product that will become part of the British landscape. For Millwood Designer Homes, the next step after finding land is to design their developments, and for them, appearances are crucial to success.
We build the houses not to look at, we build them to sell and to appeal. And you can't sell rows and rows of houses all the same very easily. You need to have something that's going to appeal to all of the people that want to come and look at it.
The company is particularly proud of the designs for its Orchard Gate development in the Kent countryside.
So at Orchard Gate, we've got prices ranging from 300-odd thousand up to $1 million. Every single one of those, I think, will appeal to the people in that price bracket. And every single one of those will actually enhance each other. So the £300,000 houses will actually enhance the position of the £1 million houses because it's integrated, it's thought about, and it actually is designed to appeal to markets.
The brief for John's in-house design team was to create a style to complement the rustic location and appeal to well-heeled buyers in search of something special.
We had to come up with a means of designing something which was organic in its location and something that had grown up over years rather than being sort of dropped into the middle of the countryside as a modern housing estate.
The result was a village designed to look as if it's evolved over the centuries, with an imposing Georgian-style residence in prime position.
So we designed a sort of classic 18th century manor house which sat in the far end of the site, linked by a long lane down to a pond, and beside the pond would be some workers' cottages working with the orchards and the agricultural land around. And that's how the initial concept started.
Bringing this vintage village to life means selecting the right building materials.
So we would use on a number of these properties reclaimed brick, and also reclaimed tiles as well, which gives an instant aged feel to the scheme.
The cost of design is a major factor for a medium-sized business like Millwood.